everyone, welcome back to AppSecSchool. I'm Louis from Pentester Lab, and today we are diving into a topic that's essential for everyone: how to write an effective security advisory. Buckle up, because this one is full of helpful tips. Whether your software product is open source or proprietary, you need to alert users promptly when a security vulnerability has been discovered. And that's where security advisories come into play. The quality of your advisory is paramount to help people using your product know what they should be doing. Are they impacted? Do they need to drop everything and patch? I read a lot of security advisories as part of the content curation process for Pentester Lab. And trust me when I tell you, there is a huge gap between a good and a bad advisory. First off, what is a security advisory? Well, it's a notice issued by a software provider for a third party to inform users about a security vulnerability in a product. This helps users understand the risk and take appropriate actions to protect themselves. What should you put in your security advisory? Some worry that too many details may make exploitation easier. While this may be true to an extent, providing too little information makes it a lot harder for those fixing the vulnerability. And people who really want to compromise your customers will always find the time and resources to reverse a patch and exploit the issue. Do you have an example of good advisories? Yes, I actually do. Glad you asked. The Ruby on Rails security team's advisories are pretty good. Let's look at one for CVE 2016-2098. Here is what we can find: a short description of the issue, an easy to understand summary of the version impacted and fixed, clear examples of what the vulnerable code may look like, where to find the fixed releases, though more details could be added here, a workaround for those who cannot patch, a set of patches for each version. This helps people who cannot quickly upgrade to be able to patch, and a credit section for those who reported the vulnerability. It doesn't cost much to add these details and really ensure people get credits for their hard work and for reporting the vulnerability instead of just keeping it. I also really like advisories that use mathematical notation for impacted versions, like we can see here with another Rails advisory for CVE 2021-22904. It helps non-native speakers and adds clarity. For example, when I read the following advisory for CVE 2023-3145, I find myself wondering, is 160 impacted or not? It's not as clear to me. Now, what could be added to this advisory? In other advisories, you can find two things that I think could be worth adding here: a timeline, when was the bug reported, confirmed, and resolved. It gives people an idea of how long this issue has been potentially known. A severity. Security people can easily work out the business risk based on the description of an issue, but it's not always as simple for developers or for people outside of security. We can see here an example of both in the advisory for CVE 2023-36542, impacted Apache Nifi. Now, when should you issue your security advisory? As soon as possible. The sooner the better, so people get time to patch. You should also make sure there is a clear location for people to find your advisories and get notified when a vulnerability gets published. For big companies with critical products, it's also common to offer pre-notifications to help people know when the actual advisory will be made public. Finally, if you are releasing advisories regularly, make sure you create a template for them and try to improve upon it over time. Maybe ask your stakeholders what they think about your advisories and how you can make them better for them to understand. Remember, the goal of a security advisory is not to scare users, but to inform them. So clarity and simplicity are key. Keep your language plain and understandable, even to those who are not tech-savvy or native English speakers. Thanks for watching AppSecSchool today. If you found this video helpful, give a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more AppSec content. As always, stay curious and keep learning.